to Celluloid Psychosis. I am your host, TJ Bowser, and joining me as always is the very handsome, the very British, the king of Salisbury himself, Mr. Paul Ashford. What's up, buddy?
Hello, TJ. How are you doing? I'm fantastic, thank you. Very excited to be talking about this film today. One of my absolute all-time favorites.
Yes.
It's Easter time. It's a good time of year. I've got a day off work tomorrow, so I'm happy, and got a Sunday off as well for Easter. So yeah, it's all good, man. Had a pretty good week. Lots of work and bits and bobs. It's my girlfriend's birthday. We went to Bournemouth from the beach.
What'd you eat?
What did we eat? We went to. I just put them in the spot. What did we eat? We went to. I've forgotten. We went to a restaurant for her birthday. Oh yes, we went to this really nice little pub we've never been to. It had a full vegetarian menu, so she was very, very happy. I had something really nice. I had a wild boar and chorizo burger.
Oh,
Yeah, that was really
sausage,
good.
like chorizo sausage.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
some wild boar.
Nice.
That was really good. Yeah, man. And we just done lots of bits and bobs. Went to the coast, looked around the coast. Yeah, man, it was good. It was good. I haven't really watched any films this week apart from more Breaking Bad. We are just started season 5, so it's really kicking off. But how's your week been?
Man, pretty good. Just finished up the season finale of The Pit with the Wife. Really good series. Highly recommend that. Seeing Brad Dourif pop up in the last couple episodes was fantastic. Fiona Dourif is definitely one of the highlights of the series, and Noah Wiley's handsome as always. But watch Critters 2, watch the movie Land of Bad on Netflix is pretty good, and Civil War from Alex Garland in preparation to hopefully this weekend watch Warfare. I'm super excited about that, all that war movie stuff. Yeah. Anyway, full on at work, just chipping away, doing all the marketing stuff. But this week is Paul's pick, and it is Critters 2 from 1988, directed by Mick Garris, who also did Sleepwalkers, I believe Psycho 4, and he wrote the movie Hocus Pocus.
He's done a ton of stuff.
A slew of other incredible movies.
Yeah, absolutely loads. He's Masters of Horror. He is a master of horror, to be fair, but he did some episodes for that. He did Tales from the Crypt episodes. He's done a bit of everything. He was Amazing Story. Is it Amazing Stories with Steven Spielberg? That's kind of what got him this gig. So yeah, he's a horror legend.
Written by David Floyd, who did Pitch Black and Riddick. Love those movies. They have an aesthetic, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And Mick Garris did it. Paul, who's in this thing?
Scott Grimes stars as Brad. You may know Scott Grimes from The Orville.
My God, that is the guy.
Yep, he is the guy from The Orville. He also does the voice of not Stewie.
No, American Dad equivalent.
Yeah.
His oldest son. Steve? No.
Stevie. Yep, that's it. Most famous for that. Leanne Curtis as Megan. She was in 16 Candles. She's also that. She was in an episode of Sons of Anarchy. She sings now. She does bits and bobs. We have Terrence Mann as Ugg. He's done tons of stage work. Don Keith Opper as Charlie. Best known as Charlie in all the Critters movies. Barry Corbin as Sheriff Harv.
He's in a lot of stuff too.
He's in a lot of stuff, which I haven't listed. Lynn Shay is
every New Line Cinema movie ever made.
Yep, she's in it, and this is a New Line Cinema movie. And Roxanne Kernahan as Lee, Playboy centerfold who tragically passed away a few years after this movie came out, or a couple of years, I think it wasn't too long.
That's sad.
So shall I read that plot?
Give it to us, Polly.
Yeah, so I'll read it straight off of the cover or the back of the Arrow release of Critters 2, which is part of a box set. It's been 2 years since the attack on the Brown family farm. It's Easter, and Bradley Brown is visiting his grandmother in the nearby town of Grover's Bend. In deep space, the bounty hunters Ugg and Lee receive word of Krite activity on Earth and are ordered to return and destroy them. Unbeknown to anyone, the Krites laid eggs, and they've begun to hatch. Hungrier than ever, the town is soon being terrorized by carnivorous critters that just keep growing in numbers.
Fuck yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
not the biggest Critters guy. I've watched the movies. I kind of just watched them once a long time ago and then kind of
Mm-hmm.
forgot about them. Rewatching this one specifically,
Mm-hmm.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Uh, I love the way that this kind of extends that story from the first film and then kind of caps it off, kind
Yeah.
of leaves it open ended for more stuff in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we get Leonardo DiCaprio in an apartment building in the next one. Uh, but this is so cool. This is kind
Yeah.
of like has that Jaws 2 feel where it's very
Yep.
true to the original film and is a really good extension of that original thing, you know?
Yeah. It also reminds me of Gremlins too.
Mhm.
Take the element of the first one and just throw in loads of
I
critters.
feel like Gremlins 2 is more like Terminator 2, as like they got a much bigger budget and just turned it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. So yeah, Critters was obviously a surprise hit for New
Yeah.
Line. So they want to go
And it's
straight in
funny,
with the sequel.
it's a Critters film with Nightmare on Elm Street production design.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, they just pulled out all the names from New Line, didn't they?
Even Freddy makes a cameo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's like they basically got a big budget. They got like a first time, or well, no, it wasn't a first time director. Like Mick Garris, he'd done a few bits
Yeah,
before this. He'd done some stuff for
look them
Disney.
up. Yeah,
I think he'd just done Fuzzbucket for Disney.
sounds about right.
Um, he'd been working with Steven Spielberg on, I think it's called Amazing Stories, a TV show.
Mhm.
And he was recommended for this. So yeah, they got given a massive budget because the first one was such a
Sleepwalkers.
success. Um,
Batteries not included. He did the story. We needed to do
oh,
that on the show.
oh yeah, definitely. David, how do you pronounce? You said Dave. I've always thought it was David Toy, but you said something else.
Boy,
Foy. Yeah, that sounds good. Uh, he had written the script, but apparently it was too dark, and so
screenplay and story of The Fly 2.
yeah, he kind of had his name removed, David Foy,
Mhm.
and Mick Garris came in and finished it off a bit. But yeah, they went much bigger, much more Krites in this movie, and they kind of went all out. I think Mick Garris's idea was to bring it
Mick
down to
also did the Shining TV series.
yeah, he did, yeah, yeah, yeah. As I said, he has done tons of
So
stuff,
much.
tons of horror stuff, and he's still doing it today. He's still doing. He had a big podcast that he did for a long time as well.
Yeah, and he did that
Um,
Nightmare Cinema thing. I think that was his last
yeah,
directing gig.
hmm he does. He does a lot of stuff, which is really cool. So they wanted bigger, better for this movie,
Mhm.
much bigger budget, bigger production value, way more money spent on special effects. And for me, Critters 2, it was the first one I ever saw in the series. As a little kid, I would see it in the video store, and I was just really captivated by the cover. It's like a critter holding a number two.
Yeah, the
That
main
looks cool.
course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the main course, and I just always wanted to see it. It was rated 15 here in the UK. I would have been younger than that. But I eventually found one on video market and picked it up, watched it, and absolutely fell in love with the film. It's like to me, it was like this is my ultimate film. It's a little creature. It's in a farm, rural area. It's a kid with his friends battling these little creatures. It just seems quite real to me, and it's like people come from outer space to help to try and kill them off. I
Mhm.
just absolutely fell in love with this film. Loved all the critters everywhere. It was amazing. And I think it was probably a year or two until I saw the first critters after this one. And at the time, I was really disappointed by the first one because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's nowhere near as good as the second one. There's like hardly any critters. It's darker. It's mostly filmed in the dark, whereas this one is all in the daylight. You can see everything. You can see all the
Yeah.
great effects. So yeah, I was just blown away by Critters 2. It's been one of my all-time favorite films. One of the films I've watched the most, man. I've seen this film so many times. Yeah, I'm a massive nerd for this film. Massive nerd.
It is a good one, and like I said, it has like that definitely the era like feeling of New Line Cinema. Like, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
my good friend Mick Strawn was a
hmm
carpenter on this film, made the
He built
entire
the
town,
thing.
and I
Yeah.
believe he also assisted on the special effects of the Critters Ball at the end. Uh, if you guys want to hear more about the making of Critters 2, go listen to my podcast Rabbit Hole on
hmm
projectlouder.net. There's tons of episodes where we talk about various Critters 2 stories on set. It's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like you could always tell Mick did stuff because there's things attached to walls. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like when he goes up to that one house and there's all that shit attached to the wall. Watch any Nightmare on Elm Street film that Mick worked on. There's shit attached to the walls. Like that. I don't know.
Oh. You know, like the guys like the guy who's got the antique place.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, all the, like the trinkets and all the stuff.
It's very similar to whenever you go into like the nightmare sequences and Nightmare on Elm Street. Those
Mm-hmm.
always have shit attached to the wall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and that's because of Mick.
But yeah, it's an amazing story. They got this big budget and they built, well, Mick built that the team built Grover's Bend from kind of scratch. It was like a
It's almost reminiscent of like an old Wild West style set town, only
yeah,
because of like how everything's labeled and set up.
mm-hmm,
But the
yeah,
wide shots are so fun.
mm-hmm. I would never would have known until recent years that it was a fake town. It just looked so real
And
to
of
me in the
course,
movie.
that makes the ending of the movie when it says thank you to the people of Grover's Bend like
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
funnier because
Uh-huh.
like the only people who would have got that joke are the people that worked on it, so they all giggled their ass off at the end.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
was just self-serving them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was such a massive nerd for this film. I went through like newspaper archives online quite a
Mhm.
few years ago to see where it's filmed because at the time back this is like 2017 2018 there was no real information about it
Yeah.
and I dug out with some friends that it was filmed in Santa Clarita, which is it's all relevant information now. It's on the Blu-ray and everything.
Mhm.
But yeah, this they called it a drunk tank, so it was like a sheriff's department, a police place where they had drunks, and there's little shells of buildings there, but they built this massive town over it. Like you said, Mick Strawn helped out. Well, probably built it himself, and they had this massive budget for this big town, well, massive relative for this film. Built it in Santa Clarita on the top of a hill, which is now a park. These days, it's all been knocked down. It's now a nice
Mm.
park. But yeah, they went in with big intentions with this movie. There was even talk of our newspaper clippings of they wanted after the film was made, the village, the town was still there, and there was
Mhm.
talk about them keeping it and using it for other movies, almost like a literally like a studio, not a
Mhm.
studio, like a filming set to use for other stuff. But ultimately,
Like Full Moon
Critters,
did.
yeah, exactly, Critters, to unfortunately kind of bombed at the cinema. It was not a huge hit, so
What
they
else came out in 1988 that would have affected Critters
oh
2,
my
Paul?
gosh, so much came out in 1988.
What movies? I love doing this.
The funny thing is, they did when they did like the cast and crew screening, everyone loved it, obviously, and all the execs and that loved the movie. They had high expectations for it, and then it came out in the cinemas, and just nobody went to see it. Real sad, real
Wow,
sad.
what a year. What
Yeah.
a year. Die Hard, Rain Man, Beetlejuice, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Akira, They Live, Big, Midnight Run, Heathers, Thin
Hmm.
Blue Line, Bull Durham, Dead Ringers, Mississippi Burning, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, The Naked Gun, Coming to America, Scrooged, Willow, Young Guns, The
Yep.
Blob remake, Bloodsport, Hellraiser 2. 1988 was poppin'.
It was stacked.
Child's Play, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Phantasm 2. I could keep going. Like
Hmm.
it is twins.
Yeah.
Like it is just a
Well, so
packed year.
you say Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was
Chiodos
directed.
Brothers.
Yep, the Coyote brothers directed that. Did all the special effects. They also
Shout
are
out
on
to
board with
Edward.
this. Yep,
What's up, buddy?
they created the critters for this movie as they did for the first one, as they did for the third and the fourth ones.
Mhm.
I think with this one, like I said, they had probably the biggest budget they had out of all the movies, and it really showed. So yeah, they were hot off of filming Killer Clowns, I believe, going into
Yeah.
this one.
Mick introduced me to them.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to meet him, man. I'd love to meet him. It'd be so cool.
That's
I don't
why I
think
said shout out to Edward.
yeah, yeah. I don't think they've ever done a UK convention. Otherwise, I'm
No.
certain I'd be there.
They're very proud of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Oh, the
that
Killer Clowns game.
yeah, that if like those brothers invented Critters and Killer
Yep.
Clowns, and like,
Mm-hmm.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. They did. They've done a lot of other stuff as well. To be fair,
But like that's their two biggest contributions to pop culture, I
horror.
think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they did do Team America. That was
They
the
did
Kaido
Team
brothers.
America World Police?
Yeah, that was them. All the plot
Oh, shit,
crews.
they worked with the South Park guys for that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There are 3 big
So,
contributions. I didn't realize that, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
man, they've done loads. They even did they did the miniatures on the in RoboCop for that advert for the Sux 3000. You know, the car
Yeah.
with the dinosaur that walks along. Yeah, they did that. They've done so much stuff. They're cool. They're really
Hey,
cool.
which RoboCop movie is it 2 that starts with the car commercial with the built-in security system?
Mm,
Where the guy sits in the car and it gets electrocuted?
yeah. I haven't watched part 2 for years.
Damn it! See, I
Is
like
it?
part 2 because it's such a Frank Miller movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, really. Yeah, I've got the 4K, man. I need to watch it. But does any other RoboCop movie exist other than the first
Yeah,
one?
2, and then 3,
Mm.
he gets jet boots.
Yeah.
Dude, the TV series?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, and the Canadian TV movies are great, man. I
Right.
love them all. If it's RoboCop, I'll watch it. We actually have a firearm at the store. Uh,
Yeah.
the company's called Canix. And it's
Mhm.
this giant, like silver aluminum thing. It's heavy as hell. And I always refer to it as the RoboCop gun. And the guy shot it today. And it was like
Nice.
this massive thing. He's like 10 pounds. And he's like trying to shoot it. It's great. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, the critters in this actual Krites, the special effects are amazing. The Kaido brothers
Yes.
do an amazing job. And there's
What
tons
about
of
the phallic critter blasters?
yeah, that's amazing, and that's probably arguably the most iconic scene in the movie is when the bounty hunters invade or go to the Hungry Heifer, the cheeseburger
Hungry
restaurant.
heifers.
Yeah, and all the critters are there eating the burgers, flipping the burgers, doing all that stuff. Yeah, and then they walk in with their guns in it, and then just like press the buttons and they extend
Yeah.
like very phallically, and then they just blast the head out of them. Yeah, such a great scene. But yeah, that Hungry Heifer song, which it actually plays in the end credits as well.
Yes, I
Hungry
sent you a
Heifer.
video of my dog watching
Yeah,
it of all
yeah.
things.
That was sung by Mick Garris's wife.
Really?
Funny enough, yeah, she did that whole. They made up the jingle and she sang it.
I
Yeah,
love fake fast food restaurants. I don't know about you,
yeah,
but any movie that has a fake fast food restaurant and goes as
it's
far as
super
like
cool.
jingle and branding, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. Not only was it a fake fast food restaurant, the whole building was fake. Obviously, so
Yeah.
that it was built from the ground up. They just
Jason
made
Goes
it.
to Hell, Poultrygeist. We can
Yeah,
keep going, like
I think
fake
it,
restaurants.
reading in that recent Critters book that came out, they said the first 2-3 scripts of the movie, they actually called it the Happy Cow Restaurant, and
Oh,
then it was
okay.
changed to the Hungry Heifer at the last minute. Yeah, that's super cool. I used to have the T-shirt as well. There was a T-shirt released quite a few years ago with the Hungry Heifer logo on it, but I've outgrown it now, and it's got very old. So hopefully someone will re-release it. But I've got a cat in here. Hang on.
Oh, 2 weeks in a row. Look
Yeah,
at
I know.
that. Hello, the third host.
They keep getting in. But yeah, Hungry Heifer, man. That's my favorite scene in the movie. Probably the most iconic scenes when the Arg and Lee, the two
Yeah.
bounty hunters, come in, blast the heck out of the critters, and you get that really funny scene with his phallic shooter blows the fur off the top of the critter's head.
Mhm.
So it turns him into Bold. They call him Bold Larry. The
Ah,
fans call him Bold Larry.
bitchin'!
Yeah, bitch. um, it's such a great scene.
Do
Such a
you
great
own
scene.
Kreitz, Paul?
Yeah, I've got loads. Haven't got any of the really expensive ones.
Do you have ones from that French guy that sells them?
The Spanish guy.
Oh, Spanish guy, sorry.
Spanish guy. Yeah, he's probably
He's that guy that makes all the Kreitz. How
he's the
many do
guy
you
that
have?
does. Man, I've got probably
You can't just
six,
have
seven,
one
eight,
crate.
six,
Okay,
seven,
I
eight,
was
nine,
gonna
10.
say, you need to have
Yeah,
enough to make a ball.
I haven't bought one for a while actually. I've been mostly concentrating on ghoulies.
Well, with the new job, I can afford to buy crates now, so
There you go.
watch
Yeah.
out.
I mean,
Hey!
that's another thing. There's a lot of third party made crates out there,
Mhm.
but there's nothing official. Absolutely nothing official. I mean,
It's absurd.
even ghoulies are official out there.
There's
There is
official killer clowns, though.
yeah. Trick or
Crazy
Treat
shit.
Studios. They do all the masks and
New
stuff.
Line Cinema, we know how they are, buddy.
Yeah. So surely Critters is going to be soon. Sure,
How long did it take us to get official Freddy gloves? You know what I mean?
exactly, yeah. But there's just so many third-party creators making critters. Even you can even get them on places like Temu and stuff now.
Yeah.
That's how popular they are.
I recommend that Spanish guy. We'll put
Yeah,
something about him.
JVF Shop.
Yeah, that's
on Etsy, man. He's cool, man. I've got. He does amazing
he
critters,
does
like
all the
really good.
variants. Yeah.
Yeah. They look amazing. But I've got his ghoulies, several of his ghoulies, which are also amazing as well. But yeah, this guy, he's doing Basket Case at the moment. Even the little baby Belials from Basket Case 3.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's got he's even doing the TerrorVision guy at the moment. You know, the big alien from TerrorVision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good movie. Nobody talks about that.
No, exactly. So yeah, he does some great stuff. Check him out, JVF Shop on Etsy. There you go, nice shout for him.
Now I have the TerrorVision theme song in my head.
That one, yeah. TerrorVision.
Yeah. Damn you, Paul.
Yeah, so we're going off on a tangent, aren't we? But
I mean, this is just such a unique film. We're not really sticking by our normal format here.
Yeah. So it's weird because it's I want to say it's family. It's not. It's kind of family friendly. It's PG-13, I believe.
No, there's tits.
Yeah, well, you just ruined it. Yeah, it's in the UK. It was a 15, so hence why I got to see it a lot sooner than I did a lot of the proper horror films because I probably saw this when I was around 11, 12 years old. So I was 78. Yeah, 88. No, yeah, I was around 12 years old when I saw this film.
It's funny, when I was rewatching this was the Critters movie that I remembered the least.
Really?
It is. When I rewatched it, I was like, the fuck? This is
Which
amazing.
do you remember the most then? Yeah. Which
3.
one do you remember them? Really?
Yeah.
With Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Wow. This is my all-time favorite out of the Critters films. It's the first one I saw.
I agree.
All
This is probably my favorite.
Amazing critter carnage, the amazing effects. And I love the Town of Gravers band. I love the comedy in it as well. Because, it's weird. It's got this weird kind of almost family-friendly vibe with some cool effects. But yeah, then there is the one scene where we get a pair of boobs.
Yeah.
And that's rocks.
Honestly, if you really think about it, Critters are like 8 times more deadly than fucking Gremlins.
Yeah, I reckon they'd have gremlins in a fight.
They showed them, like, they just bite something and they rip it off. Like, they're
Yeah, they just eat stuff until it's just bones. I mean, there's that amazing scene towards the end. Actually,
they're furry piranha. I
might change my mind on the most iconic scene. It's got to be the giant critter ball at the end.
So
everyone knows that. So there's an amazing scene towards the end of the film when you think the critter's been blown up. They've enticed them all into this giant cheeseburger factory, or like a meat factory, isn't it? And they've laced it with dynamite and they blow the hell out of it.
I have to ask Mick about the fake meat. Like, that has to be plastic, right?
No, I think it's in the extras. I think it was real meat. And
really?
It stank. I'm sure I read that.
Because it seems so solid when they were shoving stuff in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure there's parts of it that was real stuff because they said it really stank. When
further research must be done.
But yeah, it's an amazing scene. You think they're dead, and suddenly the doors blow open, and there's this humongous ball, and there's all the critters stuck together as one ball, just creating like a giant killing machine. And they chase like the townsfolk, and there's this one guy that gets run over, and you see him laid on the ground, and the ball goes over, and the next thing he's like a quivering skeleton with like blood on him. So it's really well done, but also really, really funny. And there's some great B-roll of that giant critters ball on the extras on the Blu-ray on both the Screen Factory and the Arrow. It's the same stuff of all the special effects guys rolling that around town. They had several different models of it. They had like one with close-up that was used for close-ups. Had the really detailed critters' faces. They had ones that they were rolling in the distance, so it wasn't close-up. So they had like more flatter critter faces. And they had like literally a giant bar through the middle, people pulling it. If you really look closely, there's a couple of scenes in the film where you can see someone's leg poking out where they're like pulling or pushing the giant critter ball along. But and there's just so many cool scenes with the critters, man. There's the scene where in the town and there's like the critter that jumps at the guy almost like a giant bowling ball.
Yeah.
And it even makes the bowling the skittle the bowling.
Yeah, and it hits him in the gut and the guy goes flying.
Yeah, and it makes that noise of like the bowling pins going knocked over as they all go flying
The
back.
same when earlier in the film, whenever the critters launch themselves against the truck.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like bouncing off the truck, and there's like big dents in
Bam!
the truck.
Bam!
You get so many cool scenes with the critters. Obviously, that same scene when the critter bites into the tire of the van, and then it
Yes, and then it
expands.
gets squeezed.
Yeah, it expands like a big ball, and then they drive off and just splats him on the floor. It's very, very cartoonish, very sort of
Slapstick.
slapstick. Yeah,
Yeah,
slapstick, cartoonish. I think I read that they were going for a bit of a Wile E. Coyote vibe.
nailed it.
You can see, like, setting up these little traps for the
But
critters.
there's like always this underlying sense of danger with that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
uh-huh,
That's still pulled off very well.
yeah. So when I saw this as a kid, one scene that actually did scare me was when Brad and Leanne, when I say Leanne, sorry, Leanne's the actress, Megan, they go to the old guy's house, the old guy who'd sold the critters' eggs in the first place.
Mhm.
Quigley was his name. I think it's Quigley, the old guy. Um, they go to his place and they knock on the door and there's no answer. And then suddenly the door opens and like his sort of dead body collapses on top of
And
Brad,
he looks
and he's all mangled.
fucked.
Yeah, he's like, he's like half
Yeah.
his face is missing. It's a bit like Gus in Breaking Bad. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. It was like or Harvey Dent in Batman,
The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Yeah, that sort of thing. Looks and also this is 1988, way before all that stuff. Looked really cool. Even that scene when he dies is cool because he's on his stool. All the little baby critters are biting him, and one of them takes a massive chunk out of his foot, and you just see a shoe with a big giant teeth mark where his foot would have been.
Yeah.
Just cool little effects like that.
Yep.
I do feel sorry for the guy's dog though, because
Right?
the dog gets eaten by the little
Any movie
critters.
that kills a dog, I'm just like,
Yeah,
with
yeah. Not
that,
as bad as if it kills a cat, but
don't
there's a
start
dog in
Paul.
this one.
Paul and I align on most things in this world, but when it
Yeah.
comes to cats and dogs, we're completely different.
we You mentioned Freddy gets a cameo in this. So yeah, obviously New Line Cinema. There's a scene where Ugg, one of the bounty hunters. No, it's not Ugg. It's Lee. Sorry, Lee.
Yes, sir.
Lee, one of the bounty hunters, can change into anything. And he sees obviously they're in a video
Why
store.
does he have that, that face still?
Yeah, he sees a cardboard cutout of Freddy Krueger. I think it was for Nightmare on Elm Street 3, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
It was around that sort of time when this is made.
Or is that 4?
It's either 3 or 4. I can't
One
remember
or
which
the
one it was.
other, because the only reason because like this, I always associate with him sitting at the desk
Yeah.
in 4. That's all. That
Hmm.
continue.
So yeah, we almost get a bounty hunter as Freddy Krueger, which would have been very interesting. I forgot where I was going with that. Then you cut me off with your.
I'm
See.
sorry.
But yeah, we get that. We also get an ET cameo.
Yes.
There's a scene where the critters are under the girl's bed, and she's got like a soft toy of ET. The critter's trying to talk to him, and he doesn't reply, so the critter shreds him to pieces. Obviously, I think that's a bit of a nod to the first critters. Obviously, the first critters starred D. Wallace Stone, who was in
Yeah.
ET. So there's so much little fun bits in this movie.
If only she would have
You'll
came
never
back.
catch it
She
all in
does
one
later,
watching.
right? D.
What's that?
Wallace does come back to Critters in that short.
Where it's the Critters film I don't like talking about. Critters Attack.
What's wrong with that one?
It only came out a few years ago, 2019. Everyone was super excited. Oh my god, there's a new Critters movie. I was excited. Oh my god, D. Wallace is in it. This is gonna be incredible. Yeah, it wasn't very good. It ignored all the other ones. D. Wallace didn't play a character. She just played a different character altogether, and it was just didn't have the Critters vibe that I wanted. Or
There it
the
is, folks,
fans
from the
wanted.
Little Rubber Monster guy
Yeah.
himself.
It was an okay movie, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a Critters movie, honestly. But for me, Critters 2, there you go. Is that a crate egg?
No, that is Donatello from Ninja Turtles. My daughter made a Ninja Turtle. It's actually purple, but we operate in black and white.
Obviously, we're talking Easter.
Yes.
Primary reason I chose this movie is this is completely set around Easter.
Yes.
That's how the critters come back to
It is
life.
the
So,
only Easter horror movie that I know of. Paul, can you
uh,
second that?
the only one worth watching, I would say. I mean, you get silly stuff like
Oh,
the Easter
yes.
Bunny ones, Beast of Bunny.
What's the one I did with the Beetle Bros? That really sexy, like the sexual one that has like the bunny with the phallic thing and
Yeah,
I'm the bunny and I need okay. Anyway,
yeah.
just search that. I can't talk about it. It's awful. It's gross.
But this one's kind of heartwarming, set at Easter. So
Yeah.
the eggs are from the first movie, and
They
this
paint them and take them to a
nice
church.
old lady from the church finds them, gives that guy some money for him, and yeah, all the kids are painting them at church, and they do the Easter egg hunt around the garden, and they start hatching. And again, another amazing scene. The sheriff, um, so the sheriff from the first movie quit after the events of Critters, and they got this new sheriff guy. He dons the giant Easter bunny suit, and he's practicing his hopping, isn't he? And he sees these eggs on the floor.
Oh, let's talk about how that camera is. So it's a low angle,
Yeah, yeah.
real high. The guy's walking. He goes, "Huh?"
Yeah, 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 real cool scene. The next thing that critters jump into his suit, um, and yeah, terror infuses, and there's like a sermon going on in the church, isn't there? Like a thing, and
Yeah.
he's talking about resurrection because it's Easter. Just at that exact
Yo,
scene.
the credit to the editor.
Yeah, yeah,
Credit
yeah,
to the
yeah.
editor.
Just as they say that, smash through the stained glass window comes the guy in the Easter Bunny suit, and just bleeds out on the floor in front of the whole church service. Yeah, it's so cool, so good. And it was great to see Bradley Brown back, Scott Grimes back as Bradley Brown. Obviously, we got Leanne Curtis in this one as well. He was in 16 Candles. So, like I said, I'm a huge fan of this movie. 2018, I went to LA. My only time I've been to LA. I hunted down where Grover's Bend was, and there's nothing there now, unfortunately. But it's just fields and a nice park. It was really cool. But what I did find, just from Google Maps at the time, was the house from this movie, which is Megan's house and her dad's house from the newspaper. The house
Ah,
where the little critters under the bed attack ET. That house.
yeah.
I just tracked it down on screenshots and Google Maps, and I went to visit it. It was really cool. It's an empty house. It's used for films. Also, the filming location for The Kindred, as I found out 6 months after I'd visited there when I was watching The Kindred. I was like, no way.
You and
Um,
Jules need to come over, and we need to do that around here, Paul.
yeah, definitely, because there's nothing filmed near you. There was nothing of significance.
Don't start, Paul. What did I say?
Yeah,
Like over 100 movies and 50 miles or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. You got it all. You got it all there. Um, Leanne Curtis is super cool. I met her at a horror convention.
Yeah.
There's actually a Critters reunion I went to.
Oh, that's cool. Where was it?
They had this was in Florida. It was not Orlando. What's it called?
Tampa.
Nope, nope. Jacksonville. Jacksonville. The one and only time this horror conventions ran. I was lucky enough to be there while I was on holiday, and they had Leanne Curtis, and they had Don Hopper, who played Charlie. He was amazing. He was so cool. And they had D. Wallace Stone from the first movie. I mean, it was so cool. It's just to see Don Keith Hopper was amazing, and Leanne Curtis was amazing. Both super friendly. They had loved talking about all these movies as well. But yeah, I'm a huge Critters fan, and this is the best one. This is my favorite. But the effects, more than anything, it's the effects and the vibe of the movie. I think they've really nailed the sort of Easter theme. A bit child friendly, but we get some boobs as well, and some nice gore.
Hey, did you see Art the Clown got TMZ attention today?
No,
Yeah, they were stalking David Howard Thornton, and he responded that he'd like to turn into a real life slasher and start killing people.
really.
And one of the top comments is he looks like a pedophile. What the fuck?
God. Yeah.
Oh,
There
it's
you
got
go.
20. Well, let me see the angry reacts. 13 angry reactions, 2 laughs.
There we go. But yeah, this film's so good. So good.
These comment sections unhinged. Holy fuck. I urge anyone to go check the TMZ post. Anyway.
TMZ. But yeah, for me, this film has it all. It's got a great cast, great effects, great humor, great budget. It's just I'm so gutted for everyone that was involved in this film that it bombed at the cinema. What it did mean is the town was destroyed after the movie was filmed. They were going to use it for sequels, which didn't happen. Yeah, I
Paul
think
cries inside every bit, a little bit every day. You know?
Yeah, I know. I think New Line, they lost a lot of money on this film, unfortunately. But in recent years, it has definitely picked up a big cult following, and everyone talks
Well, it's
about
the
it.
best of the Critters films, kind of like Ghoulies 4 is the best of the
Yeah, yeah. I
Ghoulies.
mean, I don't think I'm the only person that would say this is the best of the four.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. But obviously, yeah, we did get sequels, and not too many years later. I mean, was it 1991? I think Critters 3 came out, and they filmed it back to back with Critters 4.
Yeah, this
Obviously,
lost money.
much smaller budget on this, on 3 and 4. Probably due to the fact that they couldn't put the money into it after this one lost everything.
No, did it lose money though? Because this is 88, right? So
Yeah,
its budget was 4 mil, box office 3.8. But how much did it make on VHS?
probably
That's
made a lot. Yeah, it probably got back a lot of it. I mean, 3.8 was worldwide though. I think in America it didn't crawl too
no,
much.
it says US.
Okay, we'll take that.
Don't argue with me, Paul.
This film was savaged as well by the critics. Whereas the first one wasn't. The first one was actually a surprise hit, and it was actually even Ebert, and what's the other guy called? Roger Ebert, and those two. They loved the first film. This one they absolutely hated, and they destroyed it. Not that I would ever take their opinion seriously, because they just don't like many horror, sci-fi genre films anyway. But yeah, real sad that it got savaged so badly. But I don't care, because it's still easily my favorite.
Critters 4 Critters in Space?
Yeah, yep.
I never watched Critters 4.
And it's got your boy in it, Brad Dourif.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, he plays
Come on,
Albert.
man. Yeah, he's in it. He's like the main guy in it.
Holy shit.
So some people say Critters 4 was the first of the horror franchises to go into space, and it started a trend. But obviously,
92.
Critters started in space, so it's a bit of an argument, that one.
That's very true.
Yeah, man, Critters 4, my least favorite of the series.
Yeah.
Some people say
Screenplay by David Shaw, though.
Oh yeah, it's got to say, not only has it got Brad Dourif in it, it's got Angela Bassett in it as well.
Oh, David did Critters 3 screenplay as well.
Yeah. I mean, they're all good films. But for me, I remember the huge excitement of Critters 3 and 4 coming out, because obviously love Critters 2, love Critters, and then suddenly we heard about 3 and 4 coming out, and it was only a couple of years. Well, it's 91, 92, so it was only 2-3 years after this one. I remember the massive excitement and waiting for Blockbuster Video to sell it to me on X Rental.
Critters 4 was direct to VHS?
Yeah, so was 3 and 4 direct to VHS. That's what I mean. There was no, they didn't have the money to release them theatrically after this one bombed. So only 1 and 2 got theatrical releases. 3 and 4 direct to VHS, filmed back to back.
When you joked earlier when you said Charlie's only known for this series, you're not joking.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's literally. He was in Android, a Roger Corman film. But yeah, he's literally. He doesn't act anymore. I think he does woodwork and stuff. He's quite a creative guy. But obviously, it's his brother that produced this film, Barry Opper. Hence how he got involved with it. So yeah, he's great. Charlie is probably my favorite. He's easily my favorite character out of all the movies, all the Critters movies, because he's very likable. Obviously, the first movie he plays the town drunk. This one he comes back as a bounty hunter, which is cool. And then 3 and 4 he carries
I
on.
have a purpose.
Yeah. And he has the massive heroic turn at the end.
Yeah.
When he flies the spaceship into the
He,
giant ball of Christ.
sacrifices himself and then
Yeah, you think he's dead, and then right at the very end, just as the credits about to roll, he's walking down the street with a giant parachute stuck on his back.
Charlie meets Charlie.
Yeah, that's right. And Ugg is turned into Charlie. And yeah, very clever. Again, all from 1988, so the computer effects would have been quite basic then, but it just works so well, this film.
Mick Garris did the critter voices.
Did he? Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, he helped do that as well. He's a man of many talents, Mick Garris. He's a very, very talented guy.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man, this film for me, it's Easter. It's a proper Easter horror movie. Amazing effects, amazing characters, good humor. It looks great on Blu-ray as well. Scream Factory release. Obviously, that came out a few years ago. I had to import that at quite
You have
a
the
price.
laser disc of this.
Yeah, I've got the Laserdisc as well.
Okay.
I think I've got the Japanese one from memory, but yeah, I've got this on Laserdisc. There was actually a Laserdisc launch party for this, for Critters 2.
Really?
And some of the cast, yeah, there was an old cutting of the newspaper that appeared online. So you can imagine how cool that would have been back in the day.
I really need to get into Laserdisc, man. Really.
Yeah, you really do.
You're going to start me on a whole new path, Paul.
There's a lot of good stuff, especially the Japanese stuff, man. The artwork.
I heard some of that Criterion early Laserdisc stuff is gems.
Yeah.
I heard that the Carrie release has a exclusive commentary.
Really? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. There's what was the film series? Was it the James Bond films we talked about?
Mm-hmm.
The James Bond films have got commentaries on which are now banned or something.
Yeah.
So they're only available in the Laserdisc.
Have we ever talked about James Bond on the show?
I think it might have been a private conversation we had, or you sent me a link or something. Yeah.
We have such varying and different. Wait, who's your favorite Bond?
Roger Moore.
Okay, I'm Brosnan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's right. We're completely different then.
It's only we're only 2 Bonds out.
Yeah.
Roger Moore, Dalton, and then Brosnan, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Laserdisc. Yeah, all 4 Critters movies are on Laserdisc.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 and 4 were Japan only releases.
Cool.
But they're still NTSC. They'll play on a multi-region Laserdisc player.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Critters 2.
Yeah. So, Paul, what would you rate Critters 2?
Oh, it's easy. It's a 5 out of 5.
Oh, you know what,
I've said it already.
I'm gonna agree with you, buddy. This is a fun good movie.
Yeah. And it's got a great physical media release.
Yeah.
Scream Factory blew it out of the water because it's the first it's a HD premiere of all the movies. Great set. I picked it up. I said it cost me a lot of money because I had to import it, but it was worth it. And then very recently, Arrow have just released it here in the UK.
We need a 4K Scream Factory.
Yeah, or Arrow. Let's get an Arrow 4K.
Does it on the Scream Factory disc? Does it say 2K restoration or 4K restoration? That's normally the key. I've
got the Arrow one right in front of me. Brent doesn't say.
Damn it!
Nah, it doesn't say.
We will never know, but that is a perfect score for Critters 2 from 1988, directed by Mick Garris. The Mick Garris. You know what? I want to watch Psycho 4 tonight. I'm going to break out the box set. Man. Hey, that got a 4K from Scream Factory not too long ago, right?
Possibly.
Now you make me want to go buy Psycho 2 and 3 and 4K if that's a thing. I'm going to do it tonight. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Celluloid Psychosis. If you want to listen to other great podcasts just like this one, head on over to www.projectlouder.net or anywhere else you consume audio-only content. Paul, thank you for joining me on another episode.
Thank you.
Yes, it's always fun talking Little Rubber Monsters with you, buddy. You are the Little Rubber Monsters guy. And to finish up this episode of going to space for 5 minutes makes you an astronaut, then I'm a gynecologist. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.